Good morning. So sorry I'm a couple minutes late, guys. Good morning. This is Energy Flow Yoga. Welcome to Yoga 101. All right. Oh, did you guys hear that? Sorry, my ice machine. All right. So, welcome to Yoga 101. It's Saturday morning. So sorry I'm a couple minutes late. My cousin went into labor. So, I was on the phone looking at that and totally lost track of time. But I just want to say, oh, good morning, Laura. Welcome. I just want to say hello to everyone. Welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I just want to check on the website, make sure it's coming over correctly because of the Wi-Fi issues I had yesterday. Perfect. All right, looks good. Go ahead and close that out. Oh my God, yay. I know, I'm so excited. She's been having contractions for like almost 2 weeks. So this is like, finally it's happening and very exciting. All right, so good morning, everyone. Welcome. If you don't know me, my name is Ashley. I'm the yogi next door, and I'm so happy that you're here today. Let me just see. Edit. Public. Okay, good. Perfect. All right, so before we get started, just a few tips and tricks to prepare nicely for our yoga practice today. This is our Yoga 101 beginners practice. So you are going to be learning, I'm just going to turn this, I'll see here. You're going to be learning everything a beginner needs to know to get started to have a successful yoga class. So I think a lot of people feel kind of intimidated maybe before going to a yoga class, especially in person. It's a little less scary in the comfort of your own home, but it can be overwhelming because we're like using these strange words, naming the poses in Sanskrit. There might be people there who are like super advanced and you walk in the room and they're doing headstands and they're doing this and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. There's no way. Or you might have the misconception that, well, I'm not very flexible. I can't do yoga. Or I'm not very strong. I can't do yoga. Or I'm not super skinny. I can't do yoga. None of these things are true. You totally can do yoga. In fact, I encourage it because it will help you gain flexibility. It'll help you gain strength. And good for your body, good for your mind. So there's really nothing to lose. So before we get started, I just want to remind everyone, you don't need a yoga mat. It is definitely not required, although it is helpful because clearly they're designed especially to help you have a better yoga class. Same thing. Oops. Pushing my couch. Same thing for a block. When it comes to blocks, it's not a requirement by any means, but it can be useful to have a block. If you don't have a block like this, you can simply use a big book or something like that, or even like a liter-sized water bottle that's like either metal, hard plastic, or glass. So you can put some weight onto it. That's totally useful too. You don't need a block. You can do everything without a block, but sometimes it's nice. Sometimes it makes things a little bit more comfortable and sometimes makes things a little bit easier. So that's my little tips and tricks before we get started. And now, I think I want to make sure this is closed so there's no interference. Okay, perfect. All right, so I say let's come to our mats and get started. I think my mat looks a pretty good position. Yeah, actually it looks perfect. Great. All right, so let's come to our mat. Let's start right away in easy pose. This is our cross-legged seat. Nice and comfortable, crisscross applesauce, you might call it. Oh, another tip, or not really a tip or trick, but advice I might give you is to have some water nearby. So if you don't have water, go run and grab a glass of water really quickly. Because you may get out of breath, you may need a little drink as we move through practice today, and it can always be helpful to have water nearby. You can never have too much water. All right, so we're resting in our crisscross applesauce, our cross-legged position. Oops, oh my gosh, I just dumped the blinds in my water. Whoopsie. Aw, Laura says she just got a block for Christmas. Yay, awesome. All right. All right, so we're resting in our cross-legged position. Let's take a moment here to kind of come into your body. Start to feel aware of your body, aware of anything that's going on. Notice your energy. Maybe let your eyes come closed for just a moment here. Take a big breath in. And exhale, open mouth. Take a big breath in. Exhale, open your mouth and let it out. Starting to do our little body scan. Start at the very top of your head, bring your awareness there. And with each breath, move slowly down the body. Noticing anything that stands out as feeling tense or tight. Maybe your neck or shoulders, back. Maybe your hips. Maybe your hips feel really tight from sitting. Beginning to notice these spots is the first way that we can address them. And if you have any spots of tension or tightness, you can always send a chat over anytime during class, and I'll do my best to add in a few poses that can address that specifically. I'm just going to put that in the comments in case anyone joins a little bit later. Starting to become really aware of your breath here. Notice your inhale and notice your exhale. There's no need at first to judge the quality or speed. We don't need to change it. Simply, we're just noticing. Notice where you feel your breath naturally move in your body. Do you feel your shoulders rise? Do you feel your chest expand and tighten? Do you feel your belly expand? As you become more and more aware of your breath, let's make the intentional choice to engage with our Ujjayi breathing. Ujjayi translates to victorious breath. It's an intentional way of breathing that we can focus on. It's kind of our anchor of focus throughout our practice today. Whenever you feel your mind wandering or doubts or distractions creeping in, you can return your attention to this breath and it'll help your mind concentrate on what's going on in the body. So to describe the breath, we're inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose with that constriction at the back of our throat. It's like we're trying to fog up a mirror right under our nostrils, keeping the eyes closed for just a few more moments, getting nice and connected with this breath. Our inhale is long and the exhale is long. So besides helping us become more aware of our breath and our energy in our body, this breath also helps heat us up from the inside out. It helps create extra heat, which can be useful on chilly mornings like this in Chicago if you're in a cold place like I am. On your next inhale, simply lean forward over your legs. Let your legs open up and come back. We're going to sit back to Halasana, your child's pose. And bring your knees to hip width or even a little bit wider. Big toes come to touch. On your next exhale, slowly sit back over your heels, arms stretching out long in front of us. Forehead comes down to the mat. Refocus on your Ujjayi breath here and notice anything that comes up in your body or your mind. Your next inhale, rise up to your hands and knees. This is our all fours position, tabletop position. Take a moment to feel comfortably centered, weight over each hand and each leg, maybe rocking side to side, back and forth. Once you find that stable position, take a moment and look down at your hands. We want to engage a specific hand placement whenever we're putting weight on our hands and arms because it helps protect our wrists, our shoulders, our hands themselves, and can help us have a safer practice. So go ahead and look down at your fingers, lift them up, spread them nice and wide, and then press evenly through your knuckles into the mat. Slight tuck in on your thumb. Imagine as if you're about to unscrew a pickle jar, that kind of placement with your thumb. That's the placement we want on the mat. Aiming for our middle fingers to be parallel with one another. We don't want our hands splaying out or in because it changes the rotation in our shoulder. Getting nice and centered over our weight, engaging. This hand placement is called our Hasta Bandha. Bandha means lock, and Hasta means hand. So there you go. There's your Sanskrit lesson for the day. On your next inhale, feel your belly drop down to the earth as your tailbone and crown reach up to the sky. Chest is opening, belly's heavy. This is called cow pose. On your next exhale, curling up through the spine, tuck in the chin, tailbone and crown come down, coming to cat pose like our scared Halloween cat. Inhale, sweep forward to cow. Exhale, curling up and back to cat. Continue with your own pace of breath or your own rhythm of breath. Inhaling to cow. Exhaling, remembering our Ujjayi breath. And once more through each pose. Inhale, back to neutral spine. Give a few wiggles side to side. On your next inhale, tuck under the toes, press back one leg and then the other, rising to plank pose. Now we're just going to stay here for one moment. We're introducing plank pose as a way to engage our core, drawing the belly button into the body, arms strongly pressing against the mat, creating space between our shoulder blades. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, lower the knees, coming back to all fours. Take a big full breath. Now further engaging our core and starting to engage our legs and arms as well. On your next inhale, step your left toes back, right arm reaches forward, coming to our spinal balance. Your hand is just as if you're going to shake someone's hand, thumb up, pinky down. Take one big inhale. You can stay right here or lift that foot a few inches up off the ground. Flexing the toes toward the face helps with balance. Draw your belly button into the spine, core is engaged, neck is slightly tucked, our chin is slightly tucked in here. We want to continue that natural elongation of our neck. One more inhale, exhale, lower hand and knee to the mat. Inhale, right toe step back, and now our left arm reaches forward, coming to the balance on the other side. You can stay right here, or inhale, lift that back leg up a few inches, about parallel with the floor here. Take one more big inhale. Feel your foot and hand really stretching in opposite directions. Our spine is long and steady. Exhale, hand and knee come down to the mat. Now give a little wiggle, maybe wiggling off your arms a bit, wiggling through your hips a bit. Get nice and comfortable. Re-engage that Hasta Bandha, our hand lock. Full breath. And on your next inhale, tuck under the toes, rising back to plank pose. See if you feel different now in your second plank versus the first plank where we've maybe worked a little bit more on engaging through our core. One more big inhale. You can always lower your knees in plank, coming to kneeling plank. That's a super great modification that can make it slightly easier. Still a great engagement for your core and upper body. One more inhale here in plank. On your exhale, press your hips up and back, coming to our very first downward facing dog. Our hands are at shoulder width, feet are at hip width. We can feel our tailbone, our sitting bones reaching up to the ceiling here. Our back is nice and long, arms stretching forward. And let's walk our dog. Bend one knee deeply and then the other, just taking one leg at a time, stretching through the backs of our legs. Asking our muscles to gently wake up for the day. Refocus on your Ujjayi breathing if you've lost track of your breathing. On downward facing dog, we're really in just like an upside down V shape. Eventually we want our heels maybe to press all the way to the mat, but I don't think that's the goal that we're looking for today. Really the goal we're looking for is to keep our back nice and long. So if you notice rounding in your back, if you feel your back rounding, focus on bending your knees so that your hips can more fully rotate forward, creating like a nice big long slide from the top of your back, or the bottom of your back all the way down to the top of your head. One more big inhale here. Exhale. Really release into the pose. On your next inhale, right leg comes up off the floor, coming to three-legged dog. Take a moment. Your foot doesn't have to be too high yet. We're just keeping our leg parallel, and let's twist our ankle over in one direction and then the other. On your next inhale, keep that foot moving up to the sky, stacking right hip on top of left, coming to a half scorpion. You can keep the leg extended or bend the knee, really deeply stretching through our right hip. One more inhale, high. Exhale, foot comes down to the mat. Oops, I don't know what that was. Take a moment here, pressing again one foot and the other, maybe wiggling your legs a bit. And then inhale, left leg comes up. And let's twist our foot over to the right. And then to the left. Your next inhale, keep that leg moving up, 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 opening the hips, left hip stacked on top of the right. And you can keep it extended or bend the knee, really deeply opening. One more inhale here to lengthen. Exhale, foot comes down. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, open your mouth, let out a sigh. Big inhale. Exhale, let out a sigh. On your next inhale, rise up to the toes, bend the knees, look forward, step gently, one step at a time into the front of the mat. Releasing forward. Go ahead and heel toe your feet to hip distance. If you're not sure exactly how wide your hips are, take two fists side by side and place them between your feet. And that's going to help you get to your hip width. Bend your knees really deeply here, letting your belly come down on your thighs or in between your thighs. If your belly is bigger, adjust it, kind of squishing one side and then the other, getting nice and comfortable. And if you need to bring your feet a little bit wider, that's okay. Bring your feet a little bit wider. We don't want unnecessary strain in our hamstrings here. Let your head hang nice and heavy. Go ahead and bend your arms, grasping opposite elbows. And on an exhale, feel yourself really releasing your torso down over your legs. Maybe gently rocking side to side. This is called ragdoll. So imagine your torso is just like this lifeless doll released over your legs. Your head is hanging really heavy here. Take a big breath in, maybe nod your head yes, shake your head no. Really feeling yourself release. Let your hands come down to the earth. Heel toe the feet to touch. Big toes touching, heels slightly apart. You can keep your knees bent here so that your torso is still released over and hands can nicely, comfortably rest alongside the feet. On your inhale, press the feet into the earth, actively rise up halfway to our half lift. Hands come onto the shins or maybe the thighs. Our back is nice and long and straight. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees deeply, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Now working on our upwards, getting in and out of our upward salute. So here, resting on the mat, we're in Tadasana. Let your hands come down alongside your body. This is called mountain pose. So our feet are a nice, strong, steady foundation. Take a moment, maybe rock side to side, back and forth, noticing where your weight is resting in your feet. When it feels nice and steady, let your eyes come closed for just a moment. And I'd like to take this chance to set an intention for our practice today. Now, I encourage you, anything that calls out to you, anything that's maybe in the back of your mind or is resonating with you this morning, go ahead and take that as your intention. If you're not familiar with intentions, it should be a short, simple, clear statement that can help guide you to have a certain experience in class today. Can help guide you into a certain mindset, or can help guide you towards feeling a certain way as we move throughout our class. Choose that intention and just kind of think the first thing that pops into your mind. If you're not sure, don't overanalyze it. Take it, go with it, experience it today, and then you can evaluate it later on. There's no judgment necessary. There's no good or bad. Your next inhale, blink open the eyes, and we're going to be rising up to upward salute. So our feet are nice and steady. Press your feet down, really connected with the earth. Our pelvis is centered directly over our ankles. So maybe if you notice you're pitching your hips back, or maybe schlumping your hips forward. These are technical terms, schlumping. Take a moment and just kind of maybe rock back and forth until you find that comfortable middle ground, that sweet spot where you're really feeling centered over your feet. On your next inhale, hands come up to heart center. So our prayer position at heart center is our kind of perfect pose for our hands. This helps us find our center of gravity a little bit more easily and can be a perfect place to bring your arms anytime your arms might feel tired or overworked throughout our practice. If your arms start feeling tired, this is your go-to position with your hands. On your next inhale, begin moving your hands up toward the sky, but we're not stretching up through our ribs. In fact, we're almost drawing our low ribs up into the body. Slight tuck in the tailbone here, keeping our torso nice and long and centered over our hips. So our torso's over our hips and our hips are over our ankles, ankles over our feet, of course, nice and steady in the earth, arms reaching up to the sky, palms are facing one another here. Gaze can be at the horizon or maybe up a tiny bit where the ceiling meets the wall. One more big inhale. Exhale, hands come down through heart center, release all the way down to the floor, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, coming back to our half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back to plank. Take a big breath in here, remembering our Hasta Bandha, middle fingers are parallel. Exhale, lower your knees to the mat, then your chest, then your chin. Release all the way down. On your next inhale, reach the chest up and forward. This is our baby cobra. Our legs are fully engaged, tops of the feet pressing into the mat. Core is lifting us up. On your next exhale, press yourself all the way up to plank. Yes, I just tricked you into a push-up. And exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises behind us. Exhale, look forward between your hands and take as many steps as you need to bring your foot forward between your hands. Taking a moment here, let's release our left knee and left foot to the floor. So we're kind of in a low lunge, runner's lunge. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up and over, coming to our full Anjaneyasana, or low lunge. We're deeply stretching through the front of the left hip here, settling low into our right hip as we hinge forward. Our knee is directly over our ankle. We're not letting our knee come out front of the ankle. One more inhale here. Exhale, hands come down to frame the foot. Tuck under the right toes, and then step back to plank. Exhale, press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a big inhale. Exhale, let out a sigh. On your next inhale, returning to your Ujjayi breath. Inhale, left leg up to the sky. Exhale, look forward. Take as many steps as you need. Step that left foot forward between the hands. Exhale, lower the right knee and right foot to the earth. Inhale, sweep the arms up, coming to our Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Again, our knee is directly over our ankle here. We're not hinging too far forward. This can put unnecessary strain on our knee, but keeping our knee centered right over the ankle as we hinge low. One more inhale here. Chest forward to the front of the room. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come down to frame the foot. Tuck under the back toes. Step back to plank. Middle fingers are parallel. We're nice and steady in our plank pose as we inhale at the top. Exhale, knees come down, then chest, then chin. Inhale, baby cobra, chest reaching forward to the front of the room. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, let out a sigh. Inhale, return to your Ujjayi breath. Rise up onto your toes. Exhale, bend your knees so that your shins are parallel with the mat. Look forward and then begin to step forward, releasing at the front of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, press through the feet, rise up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now noticing the difference here as we move through our upward salute pose and our back bend pose. So on our next inhale, reach the arms up, upward salute. Our body is in full alignment, head over the shoulders, over the hips, over the ankles. And then as we do on our next exhale, gently opening through the hips, coming to a gentle back bend. Inhale high, coming back in alignment. Exhale, come back to that back bend. Hips come forward, chest opening to the front of the room. Inhale high in alignment. Exhale, hands through heart center, come all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Listen carefully. Big toes are touching, heels slightly apart. On your next inhale, bend the knees deeply, send the hips back, arms sweep up alongside our head, coming to Utkatasana, or chair pose. So really it's like we're about to plop down in a chair right behind us. Our back is nice and long here. Weight is back into our heels. If you look down, you should be able to see your toes. If you can't, send your hips back a little bit farther. Slight tuck in the tailbone here, protecting through our low back. One more inhale here. Challenge yourself. I know your muscles might be like thinking, what are we doing? Are we sitting or are we standing? Are we sitting or are we standing? Breathe into it. Breathe into that sensation. One more big inhale. Exhale. Release, forward fold. Really good job, guys. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands. Step back to plank. And let's flow in our vinyasa. Our vinyasa is the set of 3 movements that helps us connect one part of practice with another. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Take a big inhale here. And exhale. On your next inhale, right leg reaches up to the sky. Exhale, look forward, step it through. On your next inhale, listen carefully. Left heel comes down to the mat. Press through the feet, arms reach up overhead. Coming to Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Our front leg is a 90-degree angle, back leg is fully extended. Both heels on the floor, right toes pointing forward, left toes pointing to the side of the mat or angled slightly forward. Hips are square, chest is square, arms reaching up. Big inhale here. Exhale, gently open through the hips, open through the arms to a T. Gaze out over the right fingers, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Our legs stay, our feet, I should say, stay in that same positioning. One foot pointing forward, the other foot pointing to the side. On your next inhale, flip your right hand to the ceiling, reach forward and then up and back. Coming to our peaceful warrior, reverse warrior. Left hand can come down the leg or you can tuck it behind the back. With each inhale, feel your ribs expanding in your right side. And exhale, right shoulder pulling back, opening your chest to the sky. One more inhale here. Stick with it, breathe into sensation. Exhale, right elbow to right knee, left arm up to the sky, coming to extended side angle. And now we're stretching the entire left side of the body deeply. One more inhale here. Exhale, hands come down to frame the foot, pivoting all the way forward. Hands plant down in our Hasta Bandha, our hand placement, protecting our wrists. Step that right foot back to plank. And let's flow in our vinyasa. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest and chin. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Really good job, guys. Take a big inhale. And exhale, let it go. On your next inhale, left leg reaches up to the sky. Exhale, look forward, step it through. Take as many steps as you need to get to this lunging position before we move forward. On your next inhale, drop that right heel down to the mat. Press through the feet as you rise up, Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Hips are square, chest is square, arms reaching up to the sky. Front leg is strong 90-degree angle, back leg fully extended. Imagine you're pressing all the way out through the pinky edge of that foot. One more inhale here. Exhale, chest and hips open to the long side of the mat. Gaze out over the left fingers. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. You've definitely seen this pose. Well, if you've practiced yoga, you've experienced this pose before. But if you have never, you've seen this pose on yoga posters, yoga t-shirts, all of the above. We're nice, steady, and strong. Our legs are a strong base. Really stick with it. Breathing into sensation. Welcoming these emotions coming up, because when your muscles are feeling tired, that's good. It means you're challenging them. It means you're growing. On your next inhale, flip the left palm up to the sky. Reach forward, up and back, coming to reverse warrior. Right hand comes down the leg or tucks behind the back. With each inhale, feeling your ribs opening through the side. Exhale, left shoulder back, right shoulder forward, really opening our chest to the sky here. One more big inhale. Exhale, left elbow to left knee, right arm reaches up to the sky. Now we're stretching through the right side of our body, really opening here with each inhale. Even as your elbow's resting on your knee, we're not collapsing down or putting extra weight on our knee. Our core is engaged, especially our obliques and the multifidus, the multifidus muscles along our spine, helping keep us lifted. So our right arm is high. We're creating space between our shoulder and our left ear. One more inhale here. Exhale, pivot forward. Hands come down to frame that forward foot. Hands plant down safely in our Hasta Bandha, our hand lock. Step that left foot back to plank. Inhaling at the top. Exhale, lower knees, then chest, then chin. Release to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, let out a sigh. Big inhale. Let out a sigh, let out some noise. And then return to your Ujjayi breathing. On your next inhale, right leg reaches up to the sky. Exhale, look forward, step it through. Now you guys know this. We've been here, we've done this. Adding on your next inhale, left heel comes down to the mat, press through the feet, rise up, warrior one. This time moving right away as you exhale, pivot open, warrior two. Now our hips are open to the side of the room as well as our arms. On your next inhale, straighten the right leg, listen carefully. Adding on now, pop that left hip out to the left, reach the right fingers over that right leg, and then exhale, right hand comes down, left fingers up to the sky, coming to Utthita Trikonasana or extended triangle pose. Now you can rest here with your right fingers on all the way to the floor if you're very flexible, or they can rest on your shin. This is also a great place for a block or the water bottle we were talking about. With each exhale, imagine your chest opening up even more toward the sky, like you're leaning back against a wall. One more big inhale. Slight bend in the right knee. Press through the feet. Rise back up to our fully upright position. Hands come to the hips. Turn the right toes in so that our feet are now parallel with one another, parallel with the short edge of the mat. Now, if you suffer from sciatica or you're pregnant, I'm going to turn around so you can see me easier. If you suffer from sciatica or you're pregnant, keep your toes pointing out to the outer corners of your mat. If you don't suffer from those conditions, feet should be parallel. Even a deeper stretch, you can maybe pigeon toe your toes in slightly. Big inhale, chest reaching up and forward. Exhale, gentle forward fold over our hips. With each exhale, really releasing down. Crown of our head coming closer and closer to the floor. If you can reach your hands down, letting them rest directly under the shoulders. Maybe if you want an even deeper stretch and you're already here, you can reach your hands onto the outsides of your ankles. Reconnect with your Ujjayi breath here. Your next inhale, hands under the shoulders, slight bend in the knees, hands come up to the hips, gently rise all the way up. Heel toe the feet, or not heel toe, but pivot the feet back to the front of the mat. Exhale, hands come down to frame that forward foot. Step your right foot back, coming to plank. And let's flow in our vinyasa. Exhale, lower down, knees, then chest, then chin, release to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, let out a sigh. Return to your natural breath as you inhale, left leg high. Exhale, look forward, step it through. Inhale, press through the feet, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, open, warrior two. You guys are getting it now. We're moving a little bit faster. On your next inhale, straighten the left leg. Hip pops out to the right as you reach the left fingers out over the left leg. And then exhale, left hand comes down, right hand up to the sky. And this is a place where you can use a block, placing it right inside your ankle. Hand can come down on the block. With each inhale, feel your ribs expanding here. And exhale, lean back against that imaginary wall. Gaze can be up at the top hand, but if it's pinching your neck, go ahead and look at the bottom hand instead. One more inhale here. Slight bend in the left knee, rise up all the way to our upright position. Hands come onto the hips. Heel toe that left foot in, so our feet are now parallel, coming back to our forward fold. Big inhale here, chest lengthening. Exhale, forward fold. Hinging forward from the hips, keeping our back nice and long. This is called Prasarita Padottanasana, or wide-legged forward fold. Re-engaging your Ujjayi breath. Noticing anything that's coming up in your body. Could be physical sensations, could be emotions, thoughts, whatever it is. Notice it. Be curious. And then maybe draw your attention back to your breath, back to that intention that you set at the beginning of our practice, whatever you're focusing on today. On your next inhale, rise up a little bit here, bend the knees, hands come onto the hips, rise all the way up. Go start heel toe the feet all the way in so that they're just wider than hip width. So hip width would look like this, kind of straight down from the hips with our toes pointing out. We're going to take about one step wider than that. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, hands come to heart center, and then slowly begin to bend your knees, coming all the way down to Malasana, yogi squat. You might have to make an adjustment here to get nice and comfortable, maybe bringing the heels in closer or widening them, widening your stance. We want our heels on the floor here as we outwardly rotate through our upper legs, really opening through our thighs, elbows pressing the knees out. Our spine is nice and long. I can turn sideways here. Our spine is really nice and long. We're not hunching up or over flexing, but really nice and tall. Tailbone reaches down, crown reaches up to the sky. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, hands come down to the mat in front of us. Place your left hand in front of the face. Inhale, right arm reaches up and back, coming to like a little twist. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left hand down. Plant our hands in the Hasta Bandha, that hand placement, and then step your legs back, coming to plank pose, and let's flow through our vinyasa. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest and chin. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Big inhale here. Rise onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step forward to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Coming to our first standing balancing pose. Coming to tree pose, one of the most common balancing poses you will experience in a yoga class. So we're starting with our hands in prayer position. Let's start with our right foot down. So go ahead and lift the right toes, spread them nice and wide, and then press evenly to the mat, bringing the weight over our right leg. You should be easily able to pick up your left foot off the floor. Now you have three foot positions for your left foot. You can keep your toes on the floor, heel against the ankle, or lift it up onto the inside of the calf, or lift it all the way up to be inside the inner thigh. Now you can choose any of these positions as long as, listen carefully, only rule about tree, as long as you're not pressing against your knee. We don't want any lateral pressure against our knee. Find one fixed point for your eyes to focus on. Remembering our Ujjayi breathing, centering our energy, centering our body. Hands are a great way to help balance here. When we're centered in our chest, helps bring our center of gravity closer to the actual center of our body. If you notice your left hip is hiking up, go ahead and drop that hip down, actively pressing foot against leg, leg against foot. On your next inhale, maybe your arms begin to reach up to the sky. We always say we're growing our branches. They open up wide. Maybe your gaze follows, looking up at the ceiling. Inhale high. Exhale, hands come down, leg comes down, and give it a little wiggle. Shake it out, wiggling out your legs and your arms. And coming back to center, back to stillness. Now lifting the left toes, spread them wide, and then press evenly into the mat. Right foot comes up to that same position you had on the other side, either against your ankle, calf, or upper inner thigh. Never against the knee. Finding that fixed point for your gaze. Breathe in and out. A lot of people tend to hold their breath when they're having trouble balancing, which actually makes it so much harder. So I encourage you, if you're wiggling, if you're wobbling, breathe in and breathe out. Sounds so simple, yet can be so tricky, right? And if you do wiggle and wobble and fall, that's okay. It happens. There's nothing bad about that. Simply shake it off and try to come back. No need to punish yourself. No need to worry. You're at home. No one can see you. Doesn't matter. The only judge of yourself is you today. Inhale, arms reaching up, growing our branches. Exhale, hands come down, leg comes down, and let's shake it out. Shaking out a leg and your arms. Let's step back to the top of our mat if you're not already there. Inhale, arms reach up, upward salute. Exhale, hands come down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back to plank, engaging our Hasta Bandha, our hand placement here. Exhale, lower down, knees, then chest, then chin. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Take a big inhale here. And exhale. On your next inhale, simply come forward onto your knees, back in our tabletop for just a moment. Cross over your ankles and then just simply sit up and over your ankles, extending your legs out in front of you. My little tricky way to easily get us to switch positions. Take a moment here, rocking back and forth from one sitting bone to the other, really solidifying that connection of your sitting bones into the floor here. Legs are nice and long. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold over the legs. Paschimottanasana, caterpillar pose, seated forward fold. This stretch is literally stretching the entire back body. So this is a great yoga pose simply for its stretching capabilities, but it also helps lower our heart rate, lower blood pressure, which in turn lowers stress levels, lowers anxiety. All around good and useful pose. Your next inhale, gently begin to walk your hands up your legs, coming to our upright position. Bring the feet onto the floor and then scoot forward, drawing your glutes toward the feet. Hands come onto the front of the legs. As you exhale, slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way down onto our mat. Draw the heels in nice and close to the glutes. I want to make sure I'm really in view here. If you reach your arms down, you should be able to touch the backs of your heels. That's how close we want our heels to our glutes here. Palms press down into the mat alongside our hips or just below our hips. On your next inhale, press strongly into your feet, lifting your hips up to the sky. Slight tuck in the chin here, protecting through the back of our neck as we lift our hips up, belly up, maybe even chest starts to rise as we lift higher and higher into our bridge pose. Big inhale here, reaching up even higher. Exhale, gently rolling down one vertebrae at a time, coming to rest. Arms open up wide to a T, and let's just simply drop our knees over to one side and then the other, releasing through our low back. Continue windshield wipering the legs. Nice, gentle twists in our low back. On your next inhale, rising back to center, drawing the heels close in again, reach the hands down, coming back to that bridge pose. Hands press into the mat. Inhale, press through the feet, lifting up. Again, slight tuck of the chin, maybe tuck one shoulder blade under and then the other, really opening up, feeling our chest ballooning up to the wall behind us. On your next inhale, maybe cross your finger or interlace your fingers underneath your glutes here, really opening through the shoulders. One more big inhale, see if you can rise a little bit higher. Exhale, unlace the hands, gently unwind all the way down to the floor. Arms open wide to a T, and again, let's windshield wiper the legs from one side and then the other. Reconnecting with our Ujjayi breath here. Inhaling back to center. Inhale, both legs up high toward the sky, coming to legs up the wall pose. Now you can literally come against a wall. That's most useful. If not, you can simply feel your legs floating up into the air here. Now, if you feel your core really strongly engaging, holding your legs up, simply kind of roll up your mat or a blanket or pillow nearby, tucking it under your sacrum. And that little prop, that little tilt in your pelvis helps your legs float a little more easily up to the sky. Arms can open wide to a T, maybe cactus arms, or what is that called in football? End goal or score goal, goalpost arms. Oh my gosh, goalpost arms. Or for maybe if you want something a little more peaceful, you can wrap your arms around your chest, giving yourself a little hug. Unwind the arms. Move your prop out of the way, blanket, pillow, mat, whatever it was. Exhale, draw the knees tight into the chest, giving your legs a squeeze here, feeling that tension maybe in your hip as you draw them in really tight. Your next inhale, extend the legs high again, cross the right ankle over the left knee, coming to our figure 4 position. Right arm goes through that keyhole, interlace the fingers on the back of the leg, and then simply draw the legs closer into the body. Now you might stop exactly right here and be like, nope, that's deep enough, and that's totally cool. Listen and tune in with your body. Keep both feet strongly flexed in, protecting through our knees here. If you want a deeper stretch, bend the knee of the extended leg and wrap your fingers around the outside of that shin. Breathe into it wherever you're at. Your next inhale, gently unwind the legs, reaching both up to the sky, and then exhale, draw the left ankle over the right knee, bending our left knee out to the side. Left arm comes through the keyhole, interlace the fingers behind the leg. Again, honoring your body, listening to where you're at today, either extending, staying right here. Remember to keep both feet strongly flexed in, or deepening the stretch, bending the knee, and then reaching the hands on the outside of our shin. Breathe into it wherever you're at. Your next inhale, extending both legs high to the sky. Give a little wiggle, a little shake. Exhale, bend the knees toward the armpits. Draw the hands onto the outside of the feet, coming to our happy baby pose. We're creating right angles or 90-degree angles with our legs, opening up our pelvis up to the sky. Low back flattens down to the mat. So our back is spreading wide, shoulders are spreading wide as we pull our feet nice and wide. Now, if you're here and you feel your spine crunching uncomfortably on the floor and your back is really rounded, go ahead and draw your hands to the backs of your knees instead. Maybe even resting your arms on the floor as you pull your legs open this way. Maybe rock gently side to side, massaging through the low back. And on your exhale, draw the knees in really tight into the body, gently rolling side to side, massaging through the back. Knees kind of compressing our belly, getting a nice massage to our abdomen, our digestive organs. One more inhale, draw your forehead up to your knees. Make yourself into as tiny as a little ball as you can. And then on your next exhale, gently release your legs all the way down to the earth, coming to our final resting pose, Shavasana. Now this pose may look easy because we're resting, but can be very difficult. So I encourage you to be patient with yourself, be forgiving, and honor your body. Big breath in. Exhale, and let out a sigh. Let your eyes come closed. Let your lips come closed. Feel your body start to melt down into the earth. Make any adjustments you need here to get a little bit more comfortable. Even if it's 10% more comfortable, make those adjustments now. And then as you exhale, feel yourself release and commit to that stillness. Draw your attention to the muscles in your face. Maybe that spot between your eyebrows or your cheeks, your eyelids. On an exhale, ask them all to simply let go. Your jaw unclenches. You feel your skull heavy into the floor. Shoulders are heavy. Back is heavy, hips are heavy, legs are heavy. You feel yourself really releasing down. And finally, you let go of any controlled breathing. Simply returning to your natural rhythm of breath, your natural inhale and natural exhale. You notice your mind wandering, trying to rush you forward into the rest of the day. Simply notice that. And on an exhale, simply let those thoughts float away. In these few moments, you have no to-do list. You have no obligations, no expectations. You're simply resting. On your next inhale, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing some awareness back into your body. You reach your arms up overhead. Big good morning stretch, maybe even interlacing your fingers, pressing your palms up high. Exhale, come all the way over onto one side, resting in fetal position for just a moment. Then keeping your eyes closed if you can. Gently use your hands, press yourself up to a seated position. Coming back to our easy pose the way we started, our cross-legged seat. Or if that's not comfortable, come onto your knees or extend your legs. Taking just a few more moments here of peace, of breathing, of noticing our body and tuning in. Start at the top of your head, and then with each breath, gently move down your body, all the way down to the tips of your toes, doing another body scan. Noticing any points of tightness or tenderness, maybe excitement or energy. Simply notice that. On your next inhale, draw your hands up to our prayer position and take a moment to thank yourself for showing up to practice today. It's not always easy to prioritize yourself for a full hour, and I'm so proud of you for making your health your focus today. Your body, your mind, and your energy. Take a moment thinking back to the intention you set at the beginning of our practice. Remembering what it was and noticing if it still feels important to you. Notice if it still resonates with you. Did it come up during practice? Or maybe you kind of forgot about it until right now, until I just mentioned it. Both things are okay. Simply notice that. And then maybe think, if this is important to me, maybe I would have been thinking about it all through practice. Or if I want this to be important and present in my life, what can I do to bring this to the forefront of my mind? And if this is still calling out to you, if this still feels important, I invite you to bring it forward into the rest of your day. And in moments of anxiety, doubt, question, irritation, aggravation, whatever comes up, maybe returning to this intention first before acting. Blink open your eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I'm honored that you chose me to guide you along your yoga journey. As always, the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. Namaste, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed practice, and I hope you learned something new today. I would love to hear your experience in class. If you, Namaste, Laura. Thank you. If you're not already part of our Facebook group, go to Facebook, search our group Energy Flow Yoga with the yogi next door. Typing it out, yogi next door. And I would love to hear your experience with class, and you can start a discussion anytime. Also, of course, I want you to head over to the website if you're not already watching this on our website and join us there. Subscribe so you get updates about upcoming classes, exciting workshops, etc., etc. And you can feel free to contact me there as well very easily. So I hope you all have a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy a day of rest or maybe a productive day, getting all your to-do list done. It might be taking down the Christmas tree. We'll see how much time is left in the day after we finish everything else. So everyone have a wonderful day. Happy Saturday. And enjoy Sunday as well. Have a nice rest of your weekend. And once again, if I didn't see you yesterday, Happy New Year. Bye, everyone.